Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Hello everybody and welcome back to my book club. Oh my goodness. Okay, today is the day where I talk about my most anticipated book of the year. If you have been following this channel, if you've been watching my other videos, you know that this was the book that I have been looking forward to reading all freaking year. I feel like I waited a whole millennia for this to get released. After I read Lock Every Door last year, I had to wait till freaking June to read it. Oh my goodness. But I did. I finally read the new Riley Sager book, and we are going to talk about it right now. Let's begin. To all of you who have been watching, please know how much I genuinely appreciate all the comments you leave, all the views you give, all the times you share the video. It really helps me out. It gives me motivation. It gives me happiness. It's good for me. It's good for my well-being. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy what you're about to see. Okay, so we're going to be doing some non-spoilery stuff, and then we're going to get into some spoilers. Alright? Alright. So in true Riley Sager fashion, we have two timelines, and both are told with unreliable narrators. Oh my goodness. Every single character either can't remember something from the past, is hiding something from the past, or is a liar. As you can tell with every single book he has, this is a thing. It's a thing he likes. It's a thing he likes, you know. Okay, so where does this rank with regard to Riley Sager's other books in my personal ranking? Number one, this is my favorite book of him so far. This is the best Riley Sager book I have read in every book he has released. Like, this one is truly the book where he looked at all of the feedback given to his other books, especially Last Time I Lied, and he improved on the plot holes and on the unbelievable things that certain characters do. Although I did find some things that were a bit iffy, which I'll get into in the spoiler section. For the most part, I was on board. I wasn't scratching my head. I wasn't being like, are you sure? I was like, yeah. Okay, so it's Home Before Dark, Final Girls, Lock Every Door, and then Last Time I Lied. That's my ranking. This one's the best one so far. So like, my expectations were so damn high going into this, and normally when this happens, my expectations are let down. But oh my gosh, like, oh my gosh, how does Riley Sager do this? Like, how? There were parts in the beginning of the book that played out in the end of the book. There were parts in the middle that were just like out of nowhere, like all the red herrings didn't feel distracting. Like, I genuinely thought I guessed the ending. I genuinely thought I had guessed what had happened. But I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. Okay, so basically the book is about this family who buys this house for half its market value. So this house has many, many, many secrets, and it's got a chilling backstory. One night, this family flees the house under mysterious circumstances, and the dad writes a best-selling book about the paranormal stuff that happened in the house, and he calls the book House of Horrors. This book then goes on to become a bestseller, and Maggie, the real-life daughter of this couple, grows up with the reputation of her dad that he made for her when he wrote her into this book. I just need to say that Mike Flanagan must direct this film. I do not see any other director honing this project. Like, this is so haunting of Hill House, but it's its own thing. Like, there is no way anyone but Mike Flanagan could do this justice, I don't think. I hated the Dr. Sleep film, trust me, I did, but I don't think this time he's gonna screw it up. I could tell why he screwed up Dr. Sleep, which is a whole other video completely, but this one I honestly think that he will kill. Like, this will be a Gerald's Game level book-to-movie adaptation, in my opinion, if he were to get the job. The daughter's name is Maggie, and I kind of casted Dakota Johnson in this again. I know I casted her as Selena in Throne of Glass with, like, she's my girl crush, and I cast her in everything. Michael Stuhlbarg will play the dad. I think his name is Ewan, I think. Michelle Pfeiffer will vamp it up as the mom, Jess. And for Dane, I'm thinking Josh Duhamel. I'm thinking Josh Duhamel as Dane. What do you guys think? Who would you guys... Comment down below who you guys would cast in the film adaptation of Home Before Dark. So I was quite intimidated because normally I don't like books within books. The first chapter is from Maggie, and then the next chapter is from the book the dad published called House of Horrors. So you alternate throughout the book. Maggie, who is going back to the house, and the dad who had written about the house in the past and went on to sell the novel bestseller. But oh my god, you guys, the book within a book in this book is really, really good. Like, Riley Sager demonstrates that he's able to flirt with the horror genre and straight up present an entire novel in which you are unsure about whether it is a thriller or a horror book. Because the House of Horrors book is creepy. It is so creepy, and it does deal with supernatural things, and you are wondering, is this true? I'm not going to say whether it's true or not, but I was like seriously doubting Maggie's skepticism. Riley Sager writes not one, but two unreliable narrators, and I was like, ooh, child. Maggie spends so much of her chapters unsure about what she's seeing because she was so young when this happened, so she wasn't old enough to truly remember what happened in this house when she lived there. Meanwhile, the dad is someone who she disavows constantly and says that the book he wrote was bullshit. So you want to believe her, but then you can't entirely believe her because she doesn't even know what she saw those times, that night, you know? And both the thriller and the horror elements complement themselves so magically. Like, the chapters start bleeding into each other and her accounts start matching what he says in the story while she's staying in the house, and it just gets, it's so good! It's so good! Some people say the beginning was a bit slow, but I, however, wasn't too bothered by it. All I can say is that when you read the first 60 or so pages, you will know exactly what the house looks like. So if you're someone who is not too good with reading descriptions, someone who's not into that, someone who's bored by that, just put your head down, shoulders up, and soldier through it, because it's completely worth it, I promise. And near the end, oh my goodness, like there's like plot twist after reveal after... That's how you do a plot twist. This plot twist worked. It's come to the point where I've read so many thrillers that I have been able to guess the ending of many a thriller quite easily. As a matter of fact, for Lock Every Door, I was able to guess that ending really quick. For Last Time I Lied, I was able to guess half that ending. For Final Girls, I was completely shocked at what happened. But for this, I was just wrong. I was just wrong. I was just completely wrong, and I love it. I love being wrong. I love being surprised. I love surprises when it comes to my books, and this was definitely a fantastic surprise. It was great. Okay, spoiler time. If you have not read Home Before Dark, then please click off this video. Leave! Don't stick around. Go read Home Before Dark. Go read it now. I am not kidding, you have to read this book. Do not stick around and watch the rest of this, because I'm going to be talking about almost everything that happens in this novel. Scrap that. I'll talk about every single thing that happens in this book. So if you have not read the book, skedaddle, out, see ya. Whew. Okay, let's begin. So I was telling you about my prediction. I'm going to tell you... As I was reading this book, I was messaging Gabby from Gabby Reads, my good friend over her. So I was like messaging her what my predictions were, and by the time I got to the end of the book, I messaged her. I was like laughing so hard at this prediction. Okay, get this. This is what I thought happened in Home Before Dark. So for some reason, I thought that Petra was dead. Maggie as a child, and that the mom and dad found out about this, killed Petra, and then they killed her with the letter opener. Then the last thing Maggie saw was the parents killing Petra with the letter opener and Petra clutching the teddy bear as she died. And the reason I thought that this was how it happened was because Maggie noticed that the letter opener and the teddy bear went missing. So I was under the impression that the hauntings that were happening while Maggie was in Baneberry Hall was repressed memories of that night, and that the big reveal was going to be that this was all in her head and that she needed help. Oh my god, I was so wrong. And then I thought that Petra was gonna be buried in the pet cemetery. Did you guys think that it was a plot hole? Like, if the parents didn't want her back in the house, why was the dad willing to leave the house to her? Like, on his deathbed, he said, don't go back, I'm sorry. If he didn't want her back in the house, why did he leave the estate to her? I don't get it. Like, is this a plot hole? If I'm missing something, I could be wrong. Please comment down below. But I found this odd. I was like, you could have left it to anybody else. Why would you leave it to the person who you didn't want to go there? Seriously. So basically, the character of Maggie is a mix of all of Riley Sager's protagonists. Hear me out. She's got an unwanted reputation as a horror survivor, like the protagonist in Final Girls. Is going back to a place from her childhood, like in The Last Time I Lied. And she's going to a very gothic and haunted looking place, like in Lock Every Door. Did any of you see that? Did any of you see that? Please tell me if you saw that, because like this was quite interesting. I like what he did here. Makes you wonder what the protagonist of his next book is going to be. Like, is it the protagonist of his next... I don't know. But I will read it. I will read it day one. By the way, I read this entire book in one day because, oh my goodness, how do you read a Riley Sager book in several days? How do you pick up a Riley Sager book and not want to read the entire thing in the same day? Girl, I mean, explain that to me. I couldn't put it down. I couldn't. So yeah, Maggie keeps telling herself that the dad's book is fake. But oh my gosh, whenever I read from his chapters, I couldn't convince myself that it was. Like, when they first enter the house and the chandelier's lights were off, and then they go back into that same room and the chandelier's lights are on, I was like, nope. Like, I felt so bad for Maggie, because imagine that. Imagine having a reputation that you did not consent to. Imagine growing up already being known for something without having a say on what you're known for. All throughout her life, like even boyfriends who wanted to date her were only dating her because they were fans of the dad's book or because they saw her in like a blog somewhere. I found it so fishy when the mom was like insisting to Maggie that the dad only got the house to cure his writer slump, and then immediately after she's like, I'll buy the house from you at full value. I'm like, okay, alright, that was very conveniently timed. That offer of yours, Mama Bear, was conveniently timed. I love Riley Sager's subtle characterizations in this book. In his other books, I had issues that he would tell you about the characters instead of showing you about them. But over here, he has like very subtle cues that are quite cinematic. Like when Maggie is having lunch with a mom, the food they order says a lot of who they are. Maggie renovates houses, right? So that's her job, and she ordered a bacon sandwich, which goes to show that she's like more tough and more hardcore, and the mom ordered a salad. So, you know, with regard to the job, with regard to the food she orders, Riley Sager really does give you a sense of who this person is without actually telling you, she's this, she's that, she's that. Like, no, you show it, you don't tell it, you know? So then Maggie decides to renovate the house herself, and she meets Dane. He's the caretaker, and she learns that the dad, despite saying that he had never gone back to the house, had actually been going back to the house every July 15. Liar! Liar! Riley Sager's books are filled with liars! What is this? And then Dane tells her that the house is like filled with those baneberries everywhere, which are poisonous babies if you eat them. Poisonous babies, which are poisonous berries. If you eat them, you could die. And I was like, are we gonna have a Chekhov's gun situation? Is someone gonna get poisoned by these berries in the end? And yes, it happened. Oh my god, in the end when she eats the pie, I was like, oh my gosh. And then she says that the house looks like a Hammer horror film house, which is an A+ reference. I know exactly what she's talking about. If you've ever seen a house in a Hammer horror film, you know what this house looks like. That's all he's got to say. Then he goes on to establish what the inside of the house looks like, which is necessary to what happens later on in the book during a very nice chase sequence. But, like, all that said, you know, when he says Hammer horror film house, it's like, okay, I think I know what's up. Yeah, okay, so a bit of a pet peeve I had. I was, like, very confused about the names of these characters. You had the Garsons, the Carvers, and the Dibbits. Since a couple of them had a dead daughter and had history with the house, actually, all of them had history with the house, but, you know, dead daughter. Well, all three of them had a dead daughter. Yeah, in the mix, I was just like, which one is which again? I know that one of them was like the original owner who built the house in the 1800s, early 1900s. And then the Carvers, I think, were the ones who owned the house right before Maggie and company came in. And then the Dibbits were I think the housekeepers, right? Who lived near or on the property, I think. I can't remember. But yeah, I was like, who's who again? Okay, so the house apparently used to be a bed and breakfast at one point, so there are bells in every room. And this shit made my skin crawl. Every scene with the bells creeped me out so much. I don't know what was up with these people. Like, you already own the house. You own this house. Why don't you just... I would have gotten that shit uninstalled day one. I would have been like, okay, I am a sensitive, noise-sensitive sleeper. These bells are out. Out of here. They're gonna ruin my life. They're gonna ruin my life. And they did ruin everybody's life. These bells. When Maggie was inspecting the house when she was older, and she said, my parents left everything behind, and she inspects their room and she finds their condoms and their marijuana. Yuck! Ew! Ew! Like, if the dad kept going back every July 15, couldn't he have just taken those dirty details, you know? Couldn't he have just taken the unmentionables out of there? Because, hello, no, No! Whenever the song 16 Going on 17 from Sound of Music started playing, you know, when the dad would wake up to that song playing every night because of the haunting, whatever, I was just like thinking, what if they made a movie adaptation of Home Before Dark, and then that song 16 Going on 17 was played on the trailer, but in a scary way, like if you've seen the trailer of Us by Jordan Peele, or Fantasy Island, that recent movie, where they remixed Ariana Grande's song and made it sound scary, and like the trailer of Us also remakes the song to make it sound scary. Why don't they do that with 16 Going on 17 for the trailer of this? Because I can promise you it's gonna be so creepy, it's gonna be amazing, oh my goodness. I don't understand how Riley Sager's books do not have a movie adaptation yet. Can someone explain? If there's a movie producer watching this video, make it happen. Your movie will do so well. Just do what I told you to do, cast who I told you to cast, and get the director I said to get, and you have a hit on your hands. And bitch, when the dad was drinking the motherfucking coffee that morning, and there was a snake in the coffee, I wanted to throw that book across the room because I was angry that Riley Sager put that image in my head, because I drink coffee every morning. I am a coffee aficionado. Macchiatos, cappuccinos, lattes. If I saw a snake in my coffee, I would dead ass, never drink coffee again. Ever. If there is a snake in anything, I will not touch it for the rest of my life because I will have a phobia. And then, when Dane punches the hole in the ceiling and the burlap sack comes down and they find the remains, I knew instantly that that was Petra. And this solidified, it was like at this point when I started to have my prediction. I think this happens a bit more than halfway, but yeah, I was just like, okay. Another part that made me genuinely think that the dad was writing a true story was when Maggie went and confronted Dr. Weber, her child psychologist, who the parents took her to after they fled the house to help her with her childhood trauma. And she asked Dr. Weber, what did I say when I was a kid? And Dr. Weber told her that she was convinced that that Maggie did see ghosts as a child, because Maggie was adamant that she saw ghosts as a kid. And I was like, okay, maybe the dad had a point. Maybe there was a ghost in that house, or some ghosts. In that moment, I was genuinely questioning everything about this book. In that moment, I was like, has Riley Sager finally done a foray into horror? Oh my goodness, did I use the word foray right? I think I heard it used like that before. Did he do a venture into the horror genre is what I'm trying to say. I don't know how the English language works, okay? Just forgive me. Speaking with flirting with the horror genre, oh my goodness, so there was a scene when the parents were trying to summon Mr. Shadows with the Ouija board, and the planchette of the Ouija board kept going on, careful, 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 and then Mr. Shadows was Mr. Carver, and I was just like, okay, this is wild, this is creepy. I was like getting goosebumps. During the Ouija board scene, I was just like, okay, yeah, okay. Okay, so one part that I did find to be a bit overdone was the fact that there were so many dead daughters and that they were all under the age or over a bit around the age of 16, and they all had been tied to that house. I was just like, okay. And the fact that Riley Sager tried to sell that to us as a coincidence in the end was like this book's really moment. But given this and the thing that I mentioned at the start about Hannah getting the house even though the dad said she shouldn't go there, like beyond that, that was all I scratched my head over, honestly. Everything else was just like on point. And then when we find out that there is a direct route into Maggie's bedroom through the armoire, I was like, who the fuck designed this house and why? Why? I was like, is there any explanation? Is there any good reason why this was done? It was never explained, I don't think, but it was a serious design, an interesting design choice, a very creepy one. Like, whoever designed this house needs to visit jail, you know? That's how, like, that would not swing. I don't know who would want a house with freaking Narnia of death in the building, in the bedroom, I mean, because, like, just that is, like, asking for a crime to be committed, you know? And then when she figures out that Dane had a relationship with Petra, and then he comes in and sees her looking at the Polaroids, and he's all like, I can explain. I was like, don't believe him, bitch! Don't believe him! Don't believe And then he chases her through the house, and that chase scene was so intense. And then she uses her brain power. She runs into the indigo room where the burlap sack had previously collapsed, and she hides, and Dane falls into the hole, down to the next floor. Good stuff. Good stuff. That scene made my heart pump. That scene made me like, oh my god, girl, run out the front door. Wait, no, this idea is better. Yes, break his legs, literally. And this chapter is followed with another chapter with a chase sequence, a much better, more intense one, when the dad was taking Polaroid selfies and could see Indigo's ghost in the background. And when he saw that ghost, he was like, keep waiting, bitch. Yes, I was so proud. I was like, yes, you father character, everything is forgiven because of what you said in this scene. Okay, I'm losing energy, but like... And then Jess comes back with Maggie, and like he and Maggie and Jess are running down the stairs, and as he is running, he's taking pictures of the stairs with the Polaroid to see if the Indigo's ghost is like chasing them, and I was like, oh my god, make this a movie now! You think you have the twist all figured out. The mom says, it wasn't your dad or I who killed Petra, it was you! Okay, I genuinely thought that Maggie had killed Petra. I didn't know how the rest of the book was gonna go, but oh my god, I'm so happy where the book went. So, it turns out that Miss Pennyface, the ghost, was actually Martha Carver, the wife who owned the house before, who was sneaking in at night with her ground spectacle glasses. I am so pissed that I didn't see that, like when Riley Sager actually pointed out the look of her glasses when Maggie first went into her bake shop. I am so pissed that I did not see that as the penny-faced woman. Oh my god. And so it turns out that Petra checked in on Maggie that night, that Petra was babysitting Maggie. And Martha was in the room. And Martha pushed Petra down the stairs, and then that was when they blamed it on Maggie. So that just like, I love that part so much. Like, it was just such a good reveal, such a good twist. I did not see that coming at all. It completely made sense. It completely was so earned. The way Riley Sager set that twist up was just so good. I was like really glad that he went on the full-on thriller, no supernatural events route, because I absolutely hate it when books have plot twists that are supernatural, because when the plot twist is supernatural, it doesn't feel grounded in reality, and it kind of feels like an ass pull. It feels like a cheat. And I can name many books, many movies that have had this, but this book did not have that, and for that I gave it all the stars, because he accomplished an actual plot twist. Props. Props. He is such a talented writer, and I don't know what he's gonna put out next, but I'm gonna be so here for it. I'm gonna be so here for it, man. And in the end, when Maggie writes a sequel to the book, and we get to like learn that everything is coming full circle, like the ending had such a true, genuine catharsis. Like, this book was really his best book. You got to know the characters very well. You got genuine catharsis at the end. The plot twist didn't feel like an ass pull, although I do have some head-scratching moments. In the grand scheme of things, it did not interrupt or disrupt or ruin in any way, shape, or form my enjoyment of this story. 5 stars. I am so happy. I love this book so much. And I want to know what all of you think. If you have read Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, let's discuss this in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite part was. Let me know how that went. Let me know how your reading experience was. I want to know. I want to talk to you. Let's chat. As always, comment your thoughts down below. Like and favorite and subscribe. Share this video with your friends, and I will love you forever. But I hope to see you in the next video, and until then, take care.